like to film from here sometimes. Just about every year. That's the blacksmith shop. I'm filming out of the window. Oh, the wind is probably hitting that. Out of the window of Thomas Hockling Hall. That building is one of those ones I'll tear down, put back up in a day. I mean, there's nothing to that. This is that encroaching wilderness that I talked about. I certainly didn't mow it, and the goats haven't bothered to eat it yet. Oh, I don't want this cat to fall. There's another one of those, that matching hut, same thing. I'll probably take it down, not to the ground, and then underneath that building there, you can see the hub of that water wheel, which is still waiting. And that building hasn't fallen yet. I hope it won't. I don't think it will. So anyway, that's a view of the South Village, I guess I'll call that. Wow, the wind, with the wind you may not be able to even hear me. That's where I started my filming. That's that experiment on the three-legged cloth-sailed windmill. I'm standing actually on top of that hut that I'm going to tear down. This is the Impossible Garden. There comes the wind. Let me turn a little bit. This is probably going to just be too windy, but maybe if I stay like this, maybe it'll be all right. At this spot, one of the reasons I climbed up here was to show how this can be. Right here there will be 5, the plan is there's going to be 5 folk huts clustered. Those 2 will make a T. I'll tear them down and put them back up because I can make them stronger. Right there in the middle, lined up between those troughs, will be another folk hut, and over the top of that, I think, or else through the top, is where I'm going to carry the water in those head races, and it'll spill over a water wheel that'll be just about as high as this camera is, right in midway. Now this is another T. I'm standing on the upper part of the T. I'm not gonna build that cockle off in the middle of it. I thought I would. I decided that's not the place to build it, so I'll probably take that maybe all the way down to the ground and then bring it up again. That's easy enough done. So I mostly wanted to show you this because this is going to be a cluster of the building that I'm standing in, which is coming down. Here you can see a detail of how I still support the no, I don't do it that way anymore. I turn the pallets a 90 degrees now. 2, there's 3, there's 4, and the 5th one lined up just about with that brown goat now. That will make the cluster of 5 around a very high water wheel, pitchback water wheel. And where I'm standing between these 2, I intend to support a very big, the biggest that I'll build, of the 3-legged cloth-sailed windmills. You know, I'll have the 3 legs, one leg that way and 1 leg coming this way. Maybe I should just go the whole way around. I think the wind eased up. Hey, since the wind eased up, I'm gonna try filming a little bit more here. Those 2 buildings there, 3, are gonna become 2, and I'm gonna make them into a T as well and put a cloth-sailed windmill over them to pump water when it gets really dry. I can still get water there, I think, unless the creek dries up, and I can then pump it up to irrigate all those rooftops and that whole area up in there. All right, the next place I'm gonna go is, I may go actually up on top of that roof. I just wish the wind weren't blowing so bad. Bye for now. Well, I'm on the south side. I gotta have a name for this. Barnyard, I guess, barnyard of the Gasthaus, Hockling Gasthaus. There's Sophie, and that's fence. I don't know if I should explain it all. There's going to be a corner there. That's why that's high. That's a fence post. There'd be a fence post there, fence post there. The rest is fence. It'll all have pallets on it that are turned to 90 to support soil. That's the summer kitchen over there, which still is the furthest along of the folk huts. There's going to be a kitchen right there, and here I've begun a very large cockleofen. Maybe I should back up a little bit. A masonry oven, big enough to burn a stack of pallets at one time, which I intend to choke way down. That's kind of a long story of itself. Here's fire brick for it, and if other brick that I can use for it as well. Moving in, that stackable coal furnace will, its exhaust will go into a chimney, which is going to be right there. And that chimney is going to take quite a few flues, which is against code, of course, but this is uninsured. And then here's where that's fired. It's stackable because it would come apart in 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 4 big pieces, well, maybe 5. That's the front. And this is an old water heater that I intend to use to, actually it's an old furnace, a gas-fired furnace, which I intend to use as a water heater. The flue will go up, it'll make a T, it'll go across over our heads, and it'll also go into that chimney. It will basically be to make really warm both air and water for this space right here, which will be a little bit like I call it a bathhouse, but it's going to be a lot like a sauna. It'll be really hot. And yet, in this same space, I intend to have animals, as in the Northern European tradition and other places where your animals and people live under the same roof. But I won't heat that over there. That would not be good for the animals. And the various floors I made because of the water problem was terrible, and it was so for about 40 years here. I finally decided to get it cleaned up, and I put new sort of temporary pallet floors over it, which they can now use. The animals can now use. This what should I call it? I don't know, hallway. There's going to be a kitchen. I told you already. There's going to be a kitchen back there. I'll open this space, but I have issues I got to really watch in the structure of this building. And then it'll be possible to walk along here. This is a pallet floor. Walk along here and make a turn, and then probably I'll have that walled off, but with glass. This will be a doorway, and that will go into a set of stairs that will wind up all the way, well, to the second floor, and then to the floor of the library. Upstairs I'll show you this. It'll wind around the center, and right in the center I'm going to build an elevator just big enough for a wheelchair, and it'll go up through. So it'll go to the second story, to the level of the library. Well, you can't see it. And then above the library it'll go right out onto the roof, where I intend to have a living roof as well. And if you take a left turn as you go through there and go out, you'll go out onto that platform. That's where I just was, and I intend to climb up there, not the whole way up, but part way up. But the weather's nice, so I think I'm going to keep filming. This area right here it looks so muddy, but it is it's one of the archaeological sites of the place. It's muddy because well, it's hard to explain. There's the big stones are leftovers from foundations that were here. This was part of the abandoned village. That folk hut right there will be changed. It might stay where it is, but I'm going to tear it down and rebuild it. And right over there I'm going to put 3 side by side. I might have said that already. I've got the one about 50% finished, and I'm going to put, that's far, and then another and another. 3 side by side, and over the middle one, a second one higher, to build a building 2 stories, well, and a cluster of 4 pallets. The sawmill, it waits. I haven't done much with it. The building, I hope, doesn't fall down until I can get to it. That tower right there is for to take a very big windmill, probably the biggest windmill on the property it'll be, and drive a bunch of machinery. There's going to be a little, or not a standard folk hut right there where those blocks are standing, with the door on the side, and that's going to be able to back a tractor into, my little tractor into, and off the power takeoff, then I can drive the sawmill. I don't know how effective it'll be, but anyway, it'll at least work for showing. So those blocks are stacked there waiting to take a sill. It'll have no wooden floor, it'll be a dirt floor. You can see my horse told me what she thought of that too. I should show this a little bit too. This building started out, well, it's going to be a summer kitchen. The cook stove is in absolutely terrible shape. I'm going to have to use a lot of masonry to make it to even stand together. The reason the pallet is upside down on it is to keep the goats from jumping on it. But it has a dirt floor, and I had decided the dirt floor would actually be cleaner than a wooden floor, because the chickens will come in and clean it. And here are struts. I talk a lot about struts. These are struts, and there's a lot of them, as opposed to these, which I call braces, which are fastened on the side. They do sort of the same thing. It's kind of a long story here, but this was a well, anyway, I intend it to serve as a summer kitchen, and also to serve company if people choose to come visit in the summertime. Well, the wind's picked up again. That's where I just was. This is a watering trough, which is new this year. It was a hog scalding trough for when they butchered hogs to take the hair off, and it went through a fire when the neighbor's barn burned down. That's why it's so charred. But it still holds water, and I decided I'd use it as a watering trough. Now it continually, and the water supply comes from up there, which I'll show you very soon in a subsequent video. But anyway, this, what shall I call it, sun porch, is new. The plastic is on there just as a windbreak to help at the moment. But I will put a skirt roof over that, and it's also my intention to put a solar water heater of considerable dimensions in there. Well, a lot, but in any case, that is new. And here, let me maybe, if I stand centered over what this building will be. There it is. There'll be 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. The spaces in between will be roofed as well because of the eave overshooting. So I'll have in effect the hallway and the hallway as well. And it'll be high. I'm not going to take it up because you'll just end up staring right at the sun. Alright, I'd say maybe that's enough for now.